Hey family, I'm Levi Harrell, and we just wrapped up an amazing shoot with my dude, Pastor Summerfield of Plastiq magazine. How did it feel today, man?
Man, it was a great experience, man.
Yeah.
I had a great time with you guys here at Plastiq magazine.
Cool.
Y'all know how to treat them, bro.
You know, we try. We try to do right by people, you know. You never know who knows who and all that.
Absolutely.
So awesome. So let's talk a little bit. You're a pastor, you're an entrepreneur, you're a mental health coach. Yep. Talk to me. What does that look like? What does that feel like in your world?
It's unique.
Yeah.
I think everything that I do, it deals with the psychology of people, the mind, knowing how to talk to every different mindset that I'm dealing with, understanding how to read people, listen to people. Yeah. All of it culminated together just makes a unique situation.
Right.
Really.
So did you ever think or know on your journey that you'd be doing what you're doing now?
I didn't. I really thought that I would be a strong administrator, help my parents take the business to the next level, and just focus on being in the third position and just focus on that.
Right.
I had no idea I'd be the person in charge one day.
Yeah.
Never could I have imagined it.
So how does it feel going from, you were the assistant pastor, right?
Assistant pastor.
So going from assistant pastor to senior pastor, what's the major difference?
I think I woke up. I realized that people's problems were real.
Yeah.
And I could not just sit back in the back seat and just look at them and pray for them. I literally had to get involved, get in the trenches with people and talk to them and pray with them, and even sometimes coach them on the situations that I was talking to a couple not too long ago, and they were saying they wanted to separate. And to be honest with you, I don't want to go on record saying that I agree with divorce and all that kind of stuff. However, I think about the fact that there's some people that really should not be together, and I wanted to help them deal with the business side of doing what you're trying to do. If you come to me and tell me God told me that I'm supposed to not be with this person, what do I say? You just told me that my boss told you
so
that you saw. Okay, well, have you considered the proper way to do that? So I had to coach them how to do it. So sometimes it gets down to the nitty-gritty of physically helping them get and make the right decision that will be beneficial for both of them. So.
Got you. So with mentioning that, the business side of things, if it's a percentage or however you want to define it, what or how much is it business versus actual ministry in the role of senior pastor?
Wow. I would say it's majority business. Man, maybe if I had to put a number on it, 70% business.
Got it.
The preaching, maybe 10%.
Yeah.
And the management is the other 20%.
Yeah.
But primarily, I would say it's church. It doesn't really get the bulk of my attention and my mind. It's the business side of everything. It is really got to constantly thinking and planning, strategizing. What are we going to do? How are we going to do things in the community? How are we going to how we're going to deal with politics? So it's a lot of business that goes along resources and building resources with people that are in the community. That's business. That's all business. Yeah.
So we were talking earlier, and we were talking about when it comes to planning your sermons and things of that sort. And you see a lot of individuals who will say, okay, January was going to be the month of manifestation, and February is going to be about love, because I don't know, Valentine's Day, and all of that. And there's nothing wrong with planning and structuring and all of that. But one thing I always deal with is at what point does the structure move because you're actually flowing with God?
Yeah.
How do you balance that, and what is your take on that with your leadership?
My take on it is simple. Spend time with God, and He'll spend time with you.
Yeah.
He'll tell you what to say, what to preach, what to do, how to do it. It's taking the time to do it.
Yeah.
I think people spend so much time trying to tell God what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that God has a voice that speaks to us when we spend time with him. He says, draw nigh to me and I'll draw nigh to you.
Yeah.
That means if you spend time and speak to me and focus on talking to me, then I'll give you what you need to say. I'll give you what you need to preach.
Yeah.
I'll give you what you need to focus on. Yeah. But I think pastors get so caught up in all of the other stuff that they leave it up to themselves to think of what they got to do, and they feel like they got to keep up with what's going on in order to be an effective pastor. Yeah. But I think spending time, I'm a good old-fashioned guy. I'm a young dude, but I believe in doing it sometimes the good old-fashioned way. Just spend time with God and let him speak to me and tell me what to speak, what to preach, what to pray, and all the above.
That triggered a thought. You hear nowadays a lot of people say millennials don't like coming to church or whatever, or they don't like the miraculous of God or the miracles and the wonders and all of that. And I don't think that's true.
No. It's the religious performer that I believe has pushed a lot of millennials out of church. Millennials are hungry.
Oh yeah.
Millennials are ready for a move. They're ready for a revival, but they just don't want it packaged the same way. And they're waiting for that to happen. And in some cases, I mean, look at Kanye. I mean, if they can go to a place where they can have music and just push out the whole religious stuff. Know when to sit up, when to sit down, when to do all of that kind of stuff. All of that stuff that's I don't think is bad, but it has changed. The culture has changed. And I think that if we can bring in that revival that can help them feel comfortable about church, feel comfortable. I was in LA not too long ago, and I went to a friend of mine's church. He's a pastor out there, and literally I'm sitting next to someone who's sitting there with yoga pants and a sports bra. Yeah. Because they're gonna leave church and they're going straight to yoga. Right. They're going straight to work out. They're in Hollywood. It's just a different culture.
That's the culture.
It is so if we're going to really reach people, we got to understand that we got to be different. Yeah. In this day and age, and it ain't all about suits and ties. We got the baddest hats and the baddest heels. It is really about making sure that everybody that steps across those four walls, or comes in those four walls, are greeted with a proper greeting, and we make them feel comfortable, and we let them experience Christ the way that Christ wants them to experience him.
Definitely. So let's talk about the perception versus reality. You have people that have the perception of the pastor, but then someone as yourself who's in the office of one. What is the reality?
Reality is I'm called to preach, and that's it. Yeah. I'm not called to be. If you look at the Bible, if you study a Bible, all he says is that the pastor was called to preach. It wasn't called to be your mentor, your counselor, your doctor, your what's those people? Bell bondsman. You're not called to do all of those things. We're actually just called to preach. We're not even called to a perfection spirit. We're actually just called to preach.
So then where did that perfection spirit come from, in your opinion? Because like you just said, the word says you're just called to preach, but that's not what the world thinks. And we could say it's not, the world don't matter, but the reality is, if you're not picking up the phone, if you're not making the hospital visits, if you're not doing those things, then you get crucified and looked at as somebody who you're not.
Absolutely. I think it came from man. Man made this whole thing religious, and it became more about religious and religious concepts, and it's nothing wrong with. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with religion, but I think that the concepts of religion have been brought up by man, and there's these stereotypes. I believe that we're called to a higher standard as pastors, and I believe that we should live the walk and walk the walk, and we should follow the Bible the same way we're telling the people to follow the Bible. And we're accountable to God. And we're accountable to ourselves, but more importantly, we're accountable to God, and we have to keep ourselves at a higher standard, more so than people telling us what to do. But I think that in this culture, in this day and age, we've been taught that we're supposed to be perfect. We're supposed to do everything better than everybody else, but that's not the case. We are human in spirit, and there's a battle going on in the mind every day, and every day I have to fight things that you have to fight, and you're not a pastor.
Yeah.
But I'm human too, and I have to fight things every day. My past, my personal proclivities, all of those things, I have to battle with every day.
Right.
And I feel as though that I have to hold myself accountable, because I was listening to somebody the other day, and they were saying I was at a function, and the guy that was up speaking, he wanted to say and make some choice words. He said, "Well, I would say what I really want to say, but there's a few pastors in the room." And I thought to myself, what about God?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to watch your mouth, because God is in the room?
Right, not somebody.
It's not me
Yeah.
that you need to be watching your mouth for. I'm just a person. I'm the pastor, but I'm just a person. You're not doing that in my church, in my sanctuary. But I'm saying you should be accountable for your own actions, for your own self, not because it's a pastor sitting there.
Right.
So to answer your question, I think that some things have just been made man, traditional of things, and I believe that, you know, there comes a time when we have to, you know, just put a stop to the foolishness.
Definitely.
It's got to stop, for real.
It's gotta stop.
Yeah.
Gotta stop.
Yeah.
So you're a mental health coach.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, and especially within the faith-based community, you're seeing a lot of pastors committing suicide, people dealing with depression. I even think Tasha Cobbs was giving her testimony at one point, was talking about how at one of the greatest times of her life, winning Grammys and all of that, behind the scenes, people didn't know she was dealing with depression. And so what are some takeaways, if you will, to identify those who are dealing with depression or mental illness?
Man, I like you're talking about signs that allow me to pick up on.
Yeah.
I think overeating. I watch people sometimes, and they just have to keep eating and eating and eating and eating. Every time you turn around, they're eating. I love to eat. I'm a food guy. I love to eat. But I think that there comes a time when you have to take a look at what you're eating and how you're eating. So overeating is a good trigger that it could be a mental health, you know, issue. Fatigue, always gotta sleep, always gotta go. I just don't feel like doing anything. Always tired. Fatigue is another way. Obesity. And extreme weight loss. Rapid weight loss sometimes can be a trigger for mental illness, and I think those things, if we pay attention to those things, I would say anybody who is battling with depression, go talk to somebody.
Yeah, man.
You really, really, really need to talk to somebody. Pray as well. Don't get me wrong. Prayer changes things. Prayer fixes things. But if you don't know what to pray for, it's kind of like you're just doing something just to be doing it. I think we need to find out what's wrong and then pray and ask God, I need you to help me in this situation. They told me that I'm diagnosed with this, but God, I need you to heal me from this. God, I don't want to be this way. God, then you know what to pray for, but sometimes we don't know what to pray, and we're just sitting there just doing that because we've been told, just pray about it. But prayer is not going to just answer itself. You have to know what you're directing your prayer towards. So anybody battling depression, all of those things are serious things. And I had a good friend of mine commit suicide. He was a pastor. And he never showed us the signs. But I'm sure somebody, he lived kind of, distance away, but I'm sure somebody close to him, closer to him, had to, if they were paying attention, had to notice some things.
But that part, if the people around are paying attention. Because you see it a lot. In fact, I was in a conference and Dr. Jamal Bryant was talking about that, and he was saying how the latter part of being in Baltimore before moving here, he was in 2 years of depression. He said that nobody knew. Preaching 3 services, and in between each service, he said I would get on the couch and lay down, where to the point where his people had to be like, yo, you gotta preach another service. Like, what are you doing?
Let's go.
But to that end, watching the sermon, and you're hitting the 3 points, and you're getting your conclusion, and the people are cheering, they getting their breakthrough. You never know
what you're doing with.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I struggle with that myself even to this day. As fast as I'm moving, as much as I'm doing, as many things that I have going on, I battle with, am I enough? Am I really the one to complete what God has called this ministry to do? Can I handle depression? Is this more than I can handle? Like I battle with that. Did I preach well enough? Are the people growing? Are the people, learning? Are they liking it? Are they even here for me, or are they here to watch it fall? Like I honestly have to battle with things that the devil honestly would try to put in front of you to actually keep you from going forward.
Yeah. So is it safe to say though that some of those, for lack of better phrasing, iffy thoughts or insecurities or whatever, is it safe to say that part of that is healthy? Or no?
I guess it could be healthy. Because it's only healthy if you, I guess, let it out.
Got you.
And if you can let it out to someone around you that you can trust, and that can trust you, and you guys have a good relationship enough to where they can speak into your life too.
Yeah.
I think then that promotes the healthy side of it.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with expressing your thoughts and your feelings about your inadequacies, because I believe that sometimes you got to keep somebody in your circle that can help uplift you and tell you that you are enough. You can handle this. I heard everything you said, and I can understand why you feel that way, because you're human. But I'm here as your brother. I'm here as your friend. I'm here as your wife. I'm here as your husband. I'm here as your son. I'm here as your whatever. And I'm here to let you know that you can do this. I am enjoying what you are doing, and I believe that you can handle this. Go for it. You can do this. And I believe that if you have that in your circle, the better off you are.
So how do you identify then who that person is, if it's outside of like a counselor or something like that? Because as you mentioned, you got some people who are around who want to see, is it going to last? Is he going to be good? What's about to happen? And then of course you got those that are there to support and love and all that good stuff. But how do you know who's really for you and not connected because of what you have?
That's a good question.
Where you can really open up for real. Yeah. Or is it trial and error?
I think it can be a trial and error thing. There are people that are put in your life for different seasons of your life, different time spans, and I believe that when you grow, people will grow with you. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like they won't stay where you were. And when those are the ones that that are really, really, really in your corner, as they grow with you, and you almost kind of like can gauge that based upon the level of growth that you're experiencing. Yeah. I think that most of the time, people that are not for you will try to keep you back where you were. Right. And that's how you kind of know, I need to kind of distance myself from them. They not that you're being cocky or not that you're trying to be conceited or anything. It's just I've realized that I'm at another phase in my life, and I want people that are for me to be with me in that phase. Absolutely. And constantly pushing me. Yeah. Not just staying where I used to be. Yeah. And keeping me where I am. Let's move together. Yeah. I think that's a good way to find out and engage.
One more question before we go to some fun stuff, so our readers can get to know who you are, or our listeners rather. We were talking about prayer. Yeah. And I'm an avid prayer person.
Yes, sir.
And oftentimes, especially in the African American church, it's looked at as if women are the only ones to pray. And you don't see a lot of men praying and travailing and warring and all that good stuff. What is your thought on that? Because again, you were basically saying how it is important to pray, but the need for more male figures praying. Can you speak to that?
I can. One of the things that I think you must be first partakers of your own fruit. If I'm teaching and preaching prayer, I believe that it's my responsibility to promote that I am a prayer. Yeah. Okay. Not that I'm advertising it, but when I say promote it, like you can avidly see that man is a prayer, that he loves prayer. I have initiated, even in my church, every first Sunday, all of the men meet every first Sunday. So we start the month off of every month praying over that congregation. We pray over that house. And several, I would say about 100 men show up to pray every Sunday, every first Sunday of the month. And then the women come every fourth Sunday of the month. But the men start they start the month off, and they go hard for it. And we pray. We're in there praying. We're actually in there after we finish a 45-minute time of prayer. We get in a circle and we encourage one another. And some people may go around, they may speak into the guys' lives, and it's just we're just building that. So I'm believing that God is raising up a good unit of strong men praying constantly, interceding for their family, leading their families in the right way because they are being led by God through prayer. So I'm an avid believer that men, and I think that there are a lot of men out there that believe the same. It's a lot. I was at New Birth last night, and I saw so many men around there praying and really leading their household by prayer. So I believe it. Even if it's for show, they have accomplished it very well, which I don't think it was, but I'm just saying, like I could see the.
You can always tell.
Absolutely.
You can tell there's a weight to it. Yep. Now we're talking about men, but when his mama prayed, that was something serious.
That woman is that.
Yeah,
it starts off so it's almost like she's like building up to this crescendo. She's gifted in the prophetic and the power of prayer. She's amazing.
I love it. It. And the fact that you even said too that y'all had 100 men, that you don't even hear that.
Right.
So you got to be doing something right, because you don't. But I'm just saying, because you don't. Usually, and I'm sure you know, if you're having a conference where you got a big name artist, somebody come in, they show up. Yep. But when it comes to prayer, you might get 10 people. Yeah. And it might be all the deacons. Yes, or it might be
because they feel like they had to.
Exactly. Right. But so that speaks volumes to who you are and what you carry. So I commend you with that.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm gonna grab my phone because I got some fun questions I want to ask you.
All right.
So that way our listeners can get to know you in a different way. So let's start with this one. If you could live in a fictional world, which book or movie would you live in?
Lion King.
Yeah, man, that's the movie.
Lion King. I would live in Lion King.
I tell people, I say, I don't know why, this probably bad, but I like Scar.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I like Scar. I like the song.
He was real cool though. He was laid back. But he was conniving, but he was being who he was.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Scar. Cool beans. Yeah. What topic could you give a 20-minute presentation on without any preparation?
Topic. Working out.
Got you. Cool. Let's go quickly here. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Oh man. Okay, so funny. I grew up in a household, man, where we would turn on all of the Christmas carol music, and we had a record player. And that record player used to go from album to album playing. There was one album that had all of the songs on it, the old school Jingle Bells, Frosty the Snowman, and we would play those. Even Rudolph the Red-Nosed, all those songs. So now, still to this day, I will listen to those songs. I mean, of course, not on the record, but I'll find them on YouTube or something. So yeah, that's one of those things that we're setting up the Christmas tree to all of that stuff.
Yeah, so, I'm here for it.
Yes, sir.
One more. If you could meet a historical figure, dead or alive, who would you choose?
It'd have to be Martin Luther King, man. One of my favorite orators. Man, he was like, he's almost the best that ever did it, man. Civil servant. He just was, and he was a man of God. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the one that I would really have to want to meet.
Dope. I love it.
Yes,
I love
sir.
it. Well, in conclusion, let our listeners know where they can follow you.
Yes, sir.
And then any parting words that you might have.
Yeah.
And we'll be good to go.
Man, listen, I want you to follow me on Instagram at Mitch Summerfield. Twitter, Mitch Sums It Up. Facebook, Mitch Summerfield as well. You can just follow me there. And I talk to everybody on social media. So if you send me a direct message or something, I always respond back.
We'll make sure we follow you as well.
Yeah, please do that. And I'll do the same. And I was thinking about it as we were talking. And I would just tell everybody, any listener, man, whatever passion you have, whatever God purpose that He's put inside of you, just go for it. Don't stop. Don't hesitate. Take the leap. Launch out into the deep and just go for it. Just go for it. Whatever it is, go for it. If you fail in your mind, pick up the reins and go for it again. Man. It's an adjustment and fall 7 times, but he gets up. So try it. Disinfectant 409. 409, it was called 409 because the inventor, he tried 409 times before he got to the right formula.
Wow.
What if he had stopped on 6? What if he had stopped on 408? And he would have just said, it ain't never right.
It wouldn't have been.
It would have never been here. So just try it. I don't care how many times it takes. Go for it.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
All right, well, thanks so much.
You, sir,
Pleasure having you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Yes,
for having me,
indeed.
man.
Y'all, Pastor Summerfield.